Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel Optimizer. So in this video we are going to see the introduction to finite element analysis, that is FEA, and also we are going to see the introduction to computer aided engineering. Okay, so these two terms we are going to see in this video. So what actually we are going to cover in this video, let us discuss that first. So content of this video, firstly we are going to discuss about different types of numerical techniques. So as we know, computer aided engineering is a numerical technique only that we are going to see. After that we are going to see the concept of meshing. What is meshing, why meshing is required, what are the different types of mesh, that we are going to discuss. After that, degree of freedom, and last one, a general procedure of FEA or CAE. So these four main points we are going to cover in this video. So let us start with first point, that is different types of numerical techniques. So before that we are going to see actual product design cycle. Okay, so whenever new product is launching in the market, there is some definite process it has to be followed to develop it and to introduce into the market. Okay, so from where it is going to be start. So first step in product design cycle is customer market. So in the market survey is going to be done. So with the help of that survey, some needs, some requirements are going to be analyzed, and with the help of that needs you are going to introduce, or you are going to start with design phase. Okay, so once the need and requirements are received from the market, so based upon that one we are going to design a rough model. Okay, that is called as design concept, and once the design concept is final, you are going to create a 3D model with the help of any CAD software. Okay, that is called as design modeling. Okay, so once this CAD phase is finished, now next work is you are going to test that product or test that design virtually. Okay, so right now different softwares are available, so you don't require to generate directly prototype and test it. You can now test it virtually, and if it is okay, then you can create a prototype and again you can test. Okay, so after CAD, next part is CAE. So CAD stands for computer aided design, and CAE basically stands for computer aided engineering. Okay, so design analysis, in which we are going to assign a virtual boundary condition. For example, what are the different pressure applied, forces applied, what are the different boundary conditions are applied on that product, that we are going to assign virtually, and the analysis has been carried out. Okay, so once it is okay, then if suppose any changes are there, again you are going to change the design model, you are going to make some modification, again you bring to design analysis, you test. If it is okay, then we are going to move towards next step. Okay, so with the help of design optimization, you are going to optimize not only design, you are going to optimize the material, size, shape, all other things are going to be optimized in this step. Okay, so after once your design is totally final, that means it is found that it is safe and it is very good from all the aspects. Now next one is design evaluation. So once the design is evaluated, now last part of this product design cycle is, we can say, computer aided manufacturing, that is CAM. So with the help of design received, some process plannings are going to be carried out, means what are the different processes are required, so that are going to be listed, and with the help of that production planning is going to be done. Okay, so once all these things are, the production planning is okay, then quality control and packaging and dispatch to the market. So this is total a product design cycle. So it starts from customer need to some CAD model formation, after that some virtually analyzing the body or part, after that design evaluation, process planning, in which you are going to list down what are the different processes required to manufacturing that one, production planning, and with the help of quality control you are going to test the quality, and packaging and dispatching. So this is a total industrial design cycle or product design cycle, we can say. Okay, now let us come to next point. So any engineering problem you can solve with three methods. Okay, first one is analytical method, second one is numerical method, and third one is experimental method. So any engineering problem you can solve with these three methods. Okay, it starts from analytical or numerical or experimental. So let us discuss one by one. What is analytical method? So based upon some standard formulas, when you are going to analyze any design, then it is called as analytical method based upon standard formulas. For example, if you want to calculate the stress of a beam which has a force like this and which has a circular cross section. Now how to calculate the stress from this one? Directly force upon a cross section area. So once you are going to calculate this one, you are going to get some stress value. So that method is called as analytical method. So this is a classical approach. 100% accurate results you are going to get from this one, and closed form solution it is application, but it is applicable only for simple structure. Okay, for example, cantilever beam, simply supported beam, for this kind of beams you can calculate this easily. But if you just consider a person sitting on the chair, and if you want to calculate the stresses formed in that chair, then it is very difficult with the help of analytical method. Correct? So analytical method is classical approach. With the help of some standard formulas, you are going to calculate the stress, displacement, and any other required entities are there. Okay, so that is analytical method. Now next, numerical method. So in numerical method, this is a mathematical representation. So whatever the all CAE softwares are there, all these softwares are based upon numerical method. Okay, so numerical approach or numerical method, the background of all CAE softwares are this second method, that is numerical method. Here you are going to get some approximate solution, not accurate result. In first method you are going to get accurate result, but in numerical method you are going to get approximate result. Okay, even though you have calculated all the stresses, deformation, you need to cross check all the result with some physical prototype testing. Okay, so whatever the result directly you are going to get from numerical method, we can't blindly take that result and move forward. You need to test it physically. You have to validate the result, and then only you can go ahead. So physical prototype is not available, even though you can solve this, but you can't consider this blindly. You need to validate by experimental method. Okay, so one more advantage of numerical method is any kind of complex problem you can solve with it. It starts from a small beam to design of aeroplane. So this wide range of things you can solve with the help of numerical method. Okay, and last part is experimental method. So this is again a physical method where you are going to validate whatever the CAE results or numerical methods are there. So for validating that result, you can use the experimental method. Here also you are going to get you are going to take an actual measurement of stress, deformation, or any other consideration. Okay, but it is very time consuming, as you require to create a prototype, you require to create an experimental setup, and also due to this some time consuming there, also it is very expensive. Okay, but it is only applicable for physical prototype. Instead of prototype, you can't do experimental testing. Okay, and again results cannot be believed blindly. Minimum 3 to 5 different tests you need to carry it out for different prototypes. Okay, so analytical method. So let us summarize this. Analytical method, where classical approach is there, and some with the help of some standard formulas you are going to test it. Numerical method, it is based upon the softwares. Approximate results you are going to get. Directly can't blindly believe these results. You need to validate this, and after that a numerical method is also applicable for any kind of complex problem. Okay, and last one is experimental method. So here any problem you can solve, but it requires some prototype, and it is very expensive and time consuming. So these are three different approaches with which you can solve any engineering problem. Okay, now let us move to next. What are the different types of numerical techniques are there? Okay, so first one is FEM. FEM stands for finite element method. FVM, that is finite volume method. FDM, that is finite difference method, and last one is BEM, that is boundary element method. Okay, so these are some numerical techniques which is on the basis of this technique only the CAE softwares are formed or created. Okay, so let us discuss one by one this technique. So firstly we are going to consider BEM, that is boundary element method. So as name suggests, this method is applicable only the boundaries of the volume, okay, and if it is surface, then only it is applicable to the edges of the surfaces, okay. As name suggests, it is only applicable for boundaries. So just like the finite element method, it also required nodes and element, but as name suggests, it only consider the outer boundary of the domain, okay. So we are going to discuss with some real time applications, so then it will be clear to you. So when the problem is of volume, you need to consider the surface, and whenever the problem is related to area, you need to consider only the outer edges, okay. Outer periphery is considered, okay. Now let us discuss the practical example. So if you consider the cinema theater, so whatever the sounds are created under inside the theater, it won't come out of the theater, okay, because the boundary element method is applied there. So this is related to more likely related to acoustic problem, where if suppose sound is generated here, then it won't come outside the walls, because the boundary element analysis has been implemented there, and due to this analysis, you are going to get from where the sounds are going to be coming out, and you are going to seal all the boundaries so that the sound won't become. So another example, if you take the car sound system, okay, so car sound, so whatever the music playing inside the car, so only a small amount of music you are going to get outside the car. So boundary element method is again applied there, okay. So keep into mind, boundary element method is only applicable for boundaries, okay. Now next one is finite volume method, okay. Finite volume method is very interesting area and very complex area also, we can say. The values are calculated at discrete volume on a generic geometry. So normally in finite element method, we are going to calculate with the help of nodes, but in finite volume method, you are going to calculate the solution for a specific volume, a small volumes you are going to calculate, okay. So the unit volumes are considered in finite volume method, like the finite element that considered as a FEM. Variable properties include pressure, velocity, area, mass. What are the different CFD analyses are there? So for example, flow through the pipes, or the aerodynamic analysis of the car, aerodynamic analysis of the plane, all these things are going to be done with the help of finite volume method, okay. So whatever the CFD based softwares are there, they are directly based upon this finite volume method, okay. So basically it is based upon Navier-Stokes equation, which relates to mass, movement and energy conservation equilibrium equation, okay. So this is what finite volume method. And now next one is finite difference method, okay. So what is finite difference method? It is the combination of BEM and FDM, okay. So normally the FDM is applicable for what we can say hybrid analysis of boundary element method and finite difference method, okay. So these are normally used for solving the differential equations. The Taylor series to convert the it uses the Taylor series to convert a differential equation to an algebraic equation. In the conversion process, higher order terms are neglected. In the case of FDM, it is used to combination of BEM and or FEM to solve the thermal and CFD coupled problem, okay. So for solving the CFD coupled problem, you need to use FDM, that is finite difference method, okay. And last part which we are going to focus in this series, that is FEM or FEA. So FEM stands for finite element method and FEA stands for finite element analysis. So keep into mind, these two terms are same only, okay. Finite element method and finite element analysis. So what is finite element method? The finite element method or finite element analysis is based on the idea of building a complicated object with simple block, or dividing the complicated object into smaller and manageable pieces. For example, so this finite element method, you are going to focus on small region of bigger part. When you are going to add small region of a bigger part, the big geometry will be created, okay. So just like this, if you consider these simple blocks, so you are going to focus on these small parts, and after that you are going to create a complicated geometry. Okay, so you are going to solve for these small parts, and when you are going to add all the, or you are going to combine all the results of this small part, you are going to get a solution for complicated problem. Okay, so we are going to discuss this in detail in later slide, so just keep into mind. Here we are going to focus on the small region, and that we are going to converting into the complicated problem. Okay, so why FEM or FEA is required? So FEA provides a way of virtual testing of product design. So as already we have discussed in first slide, virtually you are going to test it. Okay, it helps users to understand the design and implement the appropriate design changes early in the product development cycle. The adoption of FEA in the design cycle is driven by the market pressure, since it brings many benefits that will be companies like make better product with reduced development cost and time to market. Okay, so as now market very competitive, you need to launch your product in very less time. Okay, so when you are going to implement some technique like FEA, then definitely you are going to reduce the product development cycle, and due to that you are going to launch your product in less time in the market. Okay, so this is why we required FEA or FEM in our market. I hope you understood. So in detail we are going to discuss FEM in later also. So before that we need to go for what is degree of freedom. Okay, because degree of freedom is main basic concept required to study the finite element analysis. Okay, so what is DOF or degree of freedom? The minimum number of parameters required to define the position and state of an entity completed in space is known as degree of freedom. Okay, so minimum parameter or entities required to describe a point or object in a space, it is called as degree of freedom. For example, if you consider this A point, so this is 2D plane. So how to define this A point from this origin? You need to define the X distance and Y distance. Okay, so two entities are required to define the position of this A object in this space. Okay, so we can say the degree of freedom for this A object is 2. Okay, because you require X and Y, that is enough, and you can define the location or position of that A with respect to the origin. Okay, so we can say that degree of freedom for object A is 2. Okay, now next part, if you consider instead of point, if you suppose we have considered the line. Okay, now what you require to define here? So first thing you required again X and Y, and one more thing you need to define the rotation. Okay, angle. So for defining the line, for defining the position of line in the space, you require first point, that is X and Y, and also at which angle it is oriented. So total 3 entities required to describe this line in the space. Therefore the degree of freedom for this line is only 3. Okay, that is 2 translation and 1 rotation. Translation means distance and rotation means angle. Okay, so this is 2D. If you consider this line now stands in the 3D structure, so how to describe this? For that you required X, Y, Z translation and rotation X, Y, Z. Okay, so total 6 degree of freedoms are required to define a line into 3D space. Okay, so that is translation in X, Y, Z and rotation in X, Y, Z. In another word, degree of freedom also defined as, so for any point when you are going to apply some forces, in how many direction it going to be translate, or in how many direction it is going to be rotated. So based upon that you are going to decide the degree of freedom. Okay, so I hope you understood the degree of freedom. Now let us consider some degree of freedom in detail. So degree of freedom is very important concept in FEA, because you are going to in FEA or CAE, the solutions are going to be calculated on the number of equations form. Okay, and this number of equations form, that is number of equations form, is going to be calculated as number of points into degree of freedom, that is DOF. Okay, number of equation in FEA or CEs are going to be calculated as number of points into degree of freedom. Okay, So individual calculation of degree of freedom at each point is necessary in FEA. The total degree of freedom for given mesh model is equal to the number of nodes multiply the number of DOF per node. So this is what we discuss now. So all the elements do not always have a 6 degree of freedom per node. The number of degree of freedom depends on the type of element. So it may be 1D, 2D or 3D, and depend upon the different family of element. For example, shell element, plane stress element, plane strain element. So based upon this you are going to decide the degree of freedom. So for example, for structural analysis, a thin shell element has 6 degree of freedom, while the same element when you use thermal analysis has single degree of freedom, that is temperature. Okay, in first case, if you consider the thin shell element, it has the displacement in x, y, z and also the rotation in x, y, z, correct? So total 6 degree of freedoms are there. But if you consider the temperature example, thermal analysis example, only one variable is there, that is temperature. So only single degree of freedom is sufficient to describe that one, that is temperature. Okay, I hope you have understood this. So now let us discuss concept of meshing. Okay, for example, if suppose you have taken one rectangular plate like this, okay, and now suppose you have applied force here and you have fixed this end. Okay, now if you suppose you want to apply a FEA or CAE on this plate, so let me know how many number of points contained by this plate. So this number of points are infinity. Now as we have discussed in earlier slide, the number of equations are going to be calculated as number of points into degree of freedom, but number of points here are infinity, and if suppose you have considered the degree of freedoms are 6, so number of equations generated for solving this problem is infinity into 6. Okay, so number of equations is equal to infinity. So any supercomputer or any man can't solve an infinite equation. So that what you required to divide this geometry into small parts. You require to divide this geometry into small region like this. Okay, it is shown here like this. So it is called as meshing or discretization. Okay, so why meshing is required? So if you just see, ideally the infinite problem you have converted into finite problem. Why? Because now the number of points are some finite value you are going to get. Here the number of points are infinite. Now you are going to get some finite number of points. Okay, so in FEA or CAE, the solution is going to be calculated on this intersection points only. Whatever the intersection points are here, on that only the solutions are going to be calculated. So number of points now are finite. So earlier it is infinite, now it is going to be converted into finite. That's why the meshing is required. The concept of converting the geometric model into FE model contain number of discrete node and element is known as meshing. Okay, now this intersection points is called as nodes. Okay, and whatever this volume you are going to get, that is called as element. Okay, that is called as element. So this is also mesh, this is also mesh. So discretization or dividing the whole model into small region is called as meshing. Okay, and why meshing is required, that already we have discussed. Now let us move to next slide. Why meshing is required? So if you consider this, here the number of points are infinity, so degree of freedom are, if you consider 6, the total equations you are going to get is equal to infinity. Now it is impossible to solve that one, but if you just divide this region into small parts, so now number of points are 8, degree of freedom are 6, so you are going to get 48 equations, correct? So you can solve it manually or with the help of computer. So you are converting, basically you are going to converting a infinite problem to the finite problem. That's why it is called as finite element analysis. Okay, so meshing is required to convert the infinite problem into finite problem. Okay, now if you consider this circle, so as this is, if you want to capture this circle as it is, so you need to increase the number of points in this. If you use only one element like this, then it won't capture very good. So as you are going to increase the number of points on the region, so it is going to be captured approximate the circle. So shaded region is the error, this shaded region is the error. So as you are going to increase the number of points, whatever the error area is there, it's going to be minimized. So as the number of points you are going to increase, you are going to get an accurate result. Okay, so this is why the meshing is required. Now what are the different elements are there? So totally all mesh or elements are divided into 4 regions. First one is 1D, second one is 2D type, third one is 3D, and last one is miscellaneous. Okay, in 1D, whenever the long length components are there, we are going to consider this as a 1D element. Whenever 2 dimensions of the component is very big than third one, then we can consider that as a 2D element, and when all 3 dimensions are comparative to each other, then we can use that as a 3D model or 3D element. And miscellaneous means when you are going to define some spring, mass, rigid links, then it is called as miscellaneous. Okay, so if you just see, so here what you need to define, if it is line, you need to define the cross section. If it is plane, you need to define the thickness, and here you don't require to define anything, because element only going to be define the geometry of the object. Okay, here you need, in 1D, always keep into mind, you need to define the cross section. In 2D, you require to define the thickness. In 3D, you don't require to define anything. Element itself defining the total geometry of the object. Okay, so these are some meshing elements. Now we are going to discuss procedure of FEA. Procedure of FEA or steps involved in FEA. So if you just remind our first slide, when the CAD is created, then only we are going to do the CAE analysis. So first thing you required is, you required a CAD geometry. Okay, you required a CAD geometry. Okay, and after that, that CAD geometry you need to mesh it, or you need to discretize this. Okay, so to convert the infinite problem into finite problem. Then describe the behavior of the physical entity on each element. That means you need to define the behavior of the element. After that, connect the element at the nodes to form an approximate system of the equation of the entire model. Then you need to define the boundary conditions, loads to that object or to the elements. Then you need to solve this, and finally you are going to calculate the desired quantity, just like a strains, stresses, displacement, whatever you require. At element and nodes, you are going to calculate that. So this is the procedure. It starts from importing the CAD model, meshing it, defining the physical description or physical behavior of the object. After that, connection, then boundary conditions, and after that solving it and getting the result. Okay, so this procedure now we are simplified into the next slide like this. Okay, so steps involved. So total whatever procedure we have discussed in last slide, we are going to divide that procedure into 3 parts, that is pre-processing, FEA solver or solution, and post-processing. Okay, pre-processing, solution, and post-processing. What is this? So pre-processor is the steps in which user is going to give input to the software. Okay, it may be importing the CAD model, it may be defining the material properties, it may be defining the loads and constraint, and whatever it may be. So pre-processor is nothing but, we can say, it is input. Okay, pre-processor is input. Now in solver only you are going to define the type of analysis and solve the command, that is called as FEA solver. And post-processing is the technique or step in which you are going to view the result, plot the result, or analyze the result. Okay, so these are 3 main steps of FEA or CAE, any kind of application. It may be, it starts from the analysis of beam, or if you want to do the CFD analysis of the aeroplane, you need to follow these steps only: pre-processing, FEA, and post-processing. So in pre-processing, you are importing the geometry, you are applying the material properties, you are going to mesh the model or discretization step, you are going to apply the boundary condition, contact connection, and once all the inputs are ready, you are going to give to the next step, that is solution. Now in solution step, you are going to give solve command to the software, it is going to be solved, and once the solution is ready, with the help of last step, that is post-processing, you are going to see the result. You are going to plot the result and analyze the result. So these are some steps involved in FEA or CAE. Now example application. So some applications we are going to discuss now. So it starts from structural and solid mechanics. This is the field of study. An example, Then structure reliability analysis, vehicle crash simulation, nuclear reactor component integrity analysis. So these are some applications area in the structural and solid mechanics field. If you consider the heat transfer, electronics cooling modeling, casting modeling, combustion engine, so these are some heat transfer application. If you consider the fluid flow, aerodynamic analysis of the race car design, modeling of airflow pattern in buildings, so these are some fluid flow application. And last one is electrostatic or electromagnetic, where you are going to apply this into the applications like field calculation in sensor, actuator, antenna design, electromagnetic interference suppression analysis. So these are some application area of this FEA. I hope you all like this video. Please subscribe our channel, and from now onwards we are going to start with hypermesh. So stay tuned to our channel. Thank you very much.